We're live from the Spero Clinic in Northwest Arkansas, where we're celebrating Shay's last day of treatment today. So Shay came in with chronic fatigue, headaches, brain fog. It all started in May of 2022. And with a lot of hard work and determination, he's standing up here today virtually symptom-free. And because of that, we couldn't be happier for you, Shay. We're proud of you and happy to see you get your health and get your life back.
Thank you very much. Did I just go? In 2022, I was 14 and very happy. I didn't spend much time sitting down. I loved rock climbing, surfing, biking, spending time with my friends goofing off, being with my family. I loved living life. In February of that year, I caught COVID while on a camping trip with my dad. I was more annoyed about having to go home early than about actually having COVID. After a week of being bored out of my mind sitting in my room with a standing case of COVID, I was happy to be back to my usual life. And I did, for a little while. I had a hacking cough that didn't go away, but otherwise I felt fine. Till 3 months later, I started feeling strange. I noticed during soccer training that I was feeling dizzy and tired. I couldn't focus on what I was doing. Over the next week, the more that I did, the worse these feelings got. I started to constantly feel like I had a bad fever that would just get worse the more activity that I did. My life started to slow down. First, I stopped doing my activities outside of school, but I was still getting worse. I spent an hour less in school, still getting worse. I took another hour off, still getting worse. 6 months later, my days consisted of spending 40 minutes at school and then the rest of the day recovering. A lot of people, even people close to me, thought that I was pretending to be sicker than I really was to get out of school. In reality, I was pretending to be better than I was because all I wanted to do was go to school. My mind was scrambled. I felt like I could barely think. I had a constant headache that would get worse with any movement of my head. These were things I felt like I could deal with, but what I couldn't deal with was the fatigue. I felt weak. So weak. Anything I did would make it worse. If I moved too fast, I would regret it. If I thought too hard, I would regret it. If I talked for too long, I would regret it. I learned to suppress myself because that was the only way I could hold it off. Every day I felt like I was sleepwalking, and every action had repercussions. My life was not worth living. Throughout all of this, my mum was always there for me. She quit her job to care for me full time and was always searching for answers. Together, we saw many different specialists and tried everything. It felt like nothing worked. Then my mum found Spero. I was pretty desperate at this point, and I'd almost accepted that I wasn't going to get better and that this illness would be the end of me. Nevertheless, we did everything we could to make Spero treatment possible, and 6 weeks later, we were halfway across the world. When I first started at Spero, my cognitive function was very bad. There's not much I could remember. There is one experience, however, that did stay in mind. After almost 2.5 years of finding that every action I did would have a very negative toll on me, suppressing everything I did was as much part of my nature as breathing is. But after the first few weeks of treatment at Spero, I started to see improvements. At the end of the day, I still needed to go to a dark room. I felt heavy, weak, and pained. But each time, I recovered faster. I started to really trust the clinic. 5 weeks into my treatment, I started oxygen contrast therapy. Now, I think that oxygen is probably pretty low on the lists of people's favorite treatments because depriving yourself of oxygen and then putting yourself in a state where you need it most isn't exactly everyone's idea of fun, but it quickly became one of my top treatments. In my first oxygen session, I exerted myself many times more than I'd done so for the past 2 years. The session was intense and I was absolutely panicking, but I was also very happy to be able to give something my all. This feeling of fear at pushing my body to its limits and elation at being able to do it became a constant during the rest of my time at the clinic, and I loved it. Week by week, I slowly improved. I started doing small things around the house, which turned into bigger things and bigger. In the past 2 months, I've done so much that I could only dream of when I was ill. I've gone mountain biking, climbing, kayaking, hiking, swimming, and played lots of card games. I've also been to donkey basketball and gone shooting, which isn't really something I was dreaming of, as they're not very common in Australia. I've made friends and remembered how to have fun again. None of this would have been possible without the people that make up Spero. Every single person that comes into this clinic should be thanked. The staff, the patients, the carers who are the unsung heroes, the families, and the dogs. This community is amazing. I've probably already gone on enough though, so I'll just shout out a few people. Sean, my oxygen therapist. I could never have given the treatment my all without you next to me. I knew I could do anything with you looking out for me, and even when I was at my worst, I always enjoyed being around you. I'll miss your wise words and stories. Jacob. I always looked forward to our sessions, and that's saying a lot considering you did piezo. And even worse, it was with country music. Sierra, it's hard to find one thing to thank you for because you're so incredible at everything. I strive to have your level of calmness, empathy, and skill. Tyler and Shane, if everyone approached their work with the same passion you two do, then the world would be a better place. Dr. T, you always gave me hope, and I really enjoyed your company. Most of all, Bryce. Where is he? Am I blind? Oh, come on, get out. Seriously, you are amazing. Thank you so much. What you have given me will stay with me for the rest of my life, not just physically, but the way I think too. You strengthen me in every way, and I will never be able to thank you enough. Brendan and Grandad Peter, none of this would have ever been possible without each of you, and I'll always be thankful for this new life you've given me. Thank you.
I just want to say something real quick. What'd you weigh when you showed up here?
I'm not sure, actually, Mum.
We probably got like
6 pounds less.
Yeah, 26 pounds less than I do now.
Look at him. He was a stick. He couldn't move. He couldn't even barely touch his knees. Couldn't think. I mean, the opening of your speech was dead on, man. Like when you do something, you got to think about doing it, and then you got to do it. If you can't even think about doing it to do it, well, then you're just in a hole. And I'm so proud of all the work you did, man. I'm so proud of the efforts that you gave. You dug yourself out of that hole, man. You climbed out. I'm gonna miss you because, like, there's a certain amount of protocols to run an NMR, and then there's the mind that comes into it, and the creativeness that all the therapists in NMR have. And I really had to dig deep into my brain to pull out some protocols that was going to bust this kid out of the shell he was in. But it was up to him to do it, and he did it. And every day he came in there wanting more, wanting more, wanting more. Kind of wish he just had a wrist injury. We could have done forearm workout the whole time.
I would have liked that.
Pretty easy, but the challenge definitely brought success and brought a lot of good. And I'm gonna be sad when you leave, man. Because your workout was my workout at once. So in a condensed version, I don't think I could hang with Shay. Full body workout. He's impressive in there. And whoever's been in there in that hour has had some wide eyes looking over at what he's been doing in there. I'm really gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss being here. Thank you.
Well, I also want to say, Tasman, Mom, you did your job. You weren't gonna quit. Kept bringing them in. Even Daisy didn't want to come in. Kept bringing them in. Therapies.
He always wanted to come in.
And it didn't seem that way some days. But Tasman, you did a great job. Takes a team.
Mom, can you come up? Mum, most of all, you have absolutely saved me. Thank you.
Oh, you did it all. Thank you.